Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another video of DIY investing. There is so much fear inside of the market right now that it is insane. I cannot remember a time in which everybody is this scared. You're seeing it all over the news. You're seeing it all over in the side of the cryptocurrency community. Everybody is ready to sell. Today, we're going to be diving into some of the most important long-term charts that I have found, along with diving and looking at the shorter-term perspective inside of Bitcoin. The people that know what's happening now are setting themselves up to make a massive gain by buying this dip. Don't be shaken out by all of this noise and fear you're seeing because this is a great opportunity. My goal for this video is to hit 1,000 likes, so make sure you guys smash that like button if you find any value in this video. We're going to be taking a look at some of the most important charts I've been able to find, so make sure you guys stay to the end so you don't miss out on any of this awesome analysis that I'm about to share with you. With all this fear in the market, it's really important that you guys join a community that you can trust. The Discord community is free if you guys want to join. All you have to do is click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. I also offer some more exclusive content inside of here, like the video course and signals. The video course is 20 educational videos that teach you guys all of the strategies that I use to profit inside of cryptocurrency. So if you guys are getting chopped up by the market and you're taking a lot of losses, you might definitely want to check that out so that you guys can actually learn all of the strategies that I use. Now, the signals are a mix of short-term, mid-term, and long-term trading and investing setups. I also offer some exit points for taking profits along with portfolio management. So if you guys are finding yourself making a lot of money only to lose it back, you guys are definitely going to want to check out my signals so that you guys can actually copy my personal portfolio so that we can all profit together over this next bull run. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for the support. We got a number of different charts to cover, so let's quit messing around and let's jump right into this video today. Alright guys, now before I jump into any analysis, I wanted to quickly talk about the whole point of this video. Now, I briefly talked about it in the intro, but what I wanted to do with this video was actually to make it more long-term based. We're still going to be diving into the short term, so don't worry about that. But I wanted to share with you guys how little my trading plan has changed from this. There is no reason to be scared right now, and if you are feeling a lot of fear, just understand that's definitely normal. If you're somebody that's new and has just recently got into this, or maybe you just aren't as educated as an analyst as I am, I definitely can understand exactly why you would be so scared, because the news is talking about so many negative things. They're talking about a recession, they're talking about people dying, and it can bring a lot of fear and uncertainty inside of your own emotional state. And so I definitely feel for you. That's why I wanted to make this video, is because I'm seeing so many different people just completely dumbfounded by this dip. I think a lot of people weren't expecting this, even though I've been kind of updating you guys and saying that we were going to expect a sell-off. And so we're going to be diving in, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys kind of what I'm expecting moving forward. Now, let's go through here and take a look at Bitcoin, because I think that this is really important. Now, for me, guys, this has been this descending resistance that's held us. I've updated you guys with that for a significant portion of time, and I said that as soon as we could clear this, that it was full-blown bull season. And in fact, we did that. Now, I told you guys that any consolidation outside of this range was bullish, and I'm still a firm believer in that. In fact, I don't really understand why everybody's so scared, because all you have to do is go here and take a look at this massive falling wedge that we broke out of, and that to me leads no reason to be scared. I just don't see it. But even then, guys, if we drop this to a log scale, let's switch this up a tiny bit. Let's put these in here. If we switch this to a log scale, we're going to be able to see here that our descending resistances also change. Now, what I see here inside of Bitcoin is on the log scale, we have this channel, right? Bull flag channel, whatever the hell you want to call it. But the same message is true. We had this support, and then we had this resistance, and we were just bouncing around in this channel. Now, what recently happened was we broke outside of that channel. And now what's happening currently is we're just getting a bullish retest of that previous resistance. And so, guys, this is one of the most bullish setups that you're going to find. It blows me away how quick everybody went from bull season, new all-time highs, to, oh no, we're all going to die, the world is ending, Bitcoin to new lows, everything is over. It blows my mind how quickly we all jump to these conclusions, because it's just the emotional psychology of the market. And that's why for me, I'm a long-term trend trader. I do some short-term trading as well, but generally I'm sticking to that long-term trend because it's so much easier to stick away from all of the uncertainty. It's easy to just, stick to your plan and just watch is what happens. And so for me, there's no reason to be bullish. Look at this. This is a bullish retest of previous resistance as support. Not only that, but if we dive into this, let's remove all these drawing tools real quick. Let's take a look here. If we dive into this and look at Elliott wave count, we're going to see that this was our 1, our 3, and our 5 impulse. That completed wave 1, and we're really just correcting from that. Now, based off of this, this is our 1 wave, right? And what's coming next is our 3 and then our 5. And so let's actually draw the wave so that we can see here. And this is honestly what I'm watching for. And I've actually been updating you guys with this exact strategy. Now, what I've been telling you guys is from my last video and my last Bitcoin update, I said that I was watching 8,300. I said that that was where I was going to accumulate the bulk of my bids, and I said that we could go as low as 78 before I would start to get too anxious. And in fact, we've just consolidated right inside of that range. And see, we had temporarily pierced to 77, but we're still within that bullish range. And guys, I really just don't understand what the big fuss is about, because even with Fibonacci, we're right at that 618 level. We're a little bit below it, but it doesn't matter. We're still in the 618 to 786 range. I still think this is very bullish market structure, and we have yet to really do anything that had pierced that. I just think that it's a lot of uncertainty and fear, and you're starting to even see that on Twitter with a lot of really good analysts. They're even fearful of what's taking place right now. And you're going to see that a lot. And in fact, that just makes me feel like it's an even better buying opportunity than people realize. I mean, it reminds me a lot of what happened back in the last cycle, where we actually, right before we broke the all-time high inside of Bitcoin, China came out and announced that they were banning Bitcoin, and Bitcoin sold off like 30% after that. Everybody kind of thought the same thing, Bitcoin was dead, and it just reminds me a lot of what we're seeing here with all of this different FUD on the news. I'm not personally going to specifically say exactly what it is. We all know what the news is talking about recently, but I will actually get demonetized if I talk about that, so I don't want to. Shout out to YouTube for being like a communistic platform. Just kidding. But looking at this, guys, nothing has really changed. I'm expecting this next impulse to take us to this all-time high mark. I think we're pretty much done messing around with the short-term consolidation, and we're going to start to see a pretty nice parabolic run coming. It doesn't have to go this parabolic. It can be a little bit more drawn out. I'm just showing you guys how the Elliott wave count is looking right now. Now, next we have this next chart. We're going to be taking a look at this. We're going to be taking a look at the long-term trend of Bitcoin. We're also going to be taking a look at the total market cap, and then we're going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance as well. And so for the next chart, I think that this is really important because this is similar. I think that this is really important because once we start to see what trend is actually playing out, it's going to make us so we're not quite as fearful. Now, I'm going to remove the wave so that we can see. Basically, all this is a big 1, a 3, and now we're going to finish out a 5-wave impulse. And that, to me, is going to be the last blow off top of this next Bitcoin cycle. Now, what we're seeing here is we're contracting inside of this triangle. Now, I'm sure that you've probably seen other analysts talk about this. The first analyst I ever saw talk about this was Credible Crypto. He's a really good Elliottian, so make sure you guys check him out on Twitter. And I also, my friend Dallin Anderson, he's a really good Elliottian, and he was actually drawing this pattern for a significant portion of time, way before any of these other analysts that I actually saw do it. And really what he showed was that this was an A, B, C, D, E correction. And this is the exact same type of correction that you're going to find inside of a contracting triangle. And this is what we're seeing inside of Bitcoin. With a contracting triangle, we have a descending resistance and then we have an ascending support. And it kind of just contracts us into this tight symmetrical triangle until finally we either break bearish or we break bullish. Now, what's to be recognized inside of this pattern is the fact that it's 50-50 either way. The fact that we've already been in such a strong bullish trend leads me to believe that this has much more probability of this actually going up and breaking upwards than it does going down. And I think with us coming back down onto support of this E wave, it's perfectly setting us up for a nice breakout outside of this contracting triangle. And so for me, guys, I think that we're going to see something like this. Might bounce up for a little bit. And then we should start to see these early impulses taking place before we get to that all-time high mark. And then we'll see something like that, right? That's kind of what I'm watching for this next cycle. I think that it's going to be a pretty big impulse coming, and we're going to be expecting to see a lot of volatility very soon. But really, guys, why, looking at this chart, Are you still scared? Are you still as scared as you were before looking at this chart? What is it that makes you so fearful? Is it things that you're hearing from people around you? Is it things that you're hearing on TV? Is it maybe things that you're coming up with in your own mental thought process? These are very important questions that you need to ask yourself, because for me, guys, literally nothing has changed. My trading plan has stayed exactly the same. The only real difference is this was a pretty scary pullback compared to most that we've seen. And so I don't see the big reason to be scared. To me, this looks like a perfect consolidation pattern in a four-wave before we break up and go into another big parabolic move. And so to me, guys, now's the time where you want to actually be buying. Now, if we take a look at the next chart, we're going to see that this is the log scale of Bitcoin, Brave New Liquid Index for Bitcoin. This is the all-time graph of Bitcoin, and it dates all the way back here to about 2010 when Bitcoin was worth about 5 cents. Now, what we're going to see here is this black trend line, and we can see that we go through these bubble phases, but we always come back down to reaccumulate on this black trend line. Now, each one of these blue lines represents the halvings that have taken place. The first halving was here, second halving was here, and now we're getting close to that third halving that'll take place here in about May. Now, it could be roughly at the 1st of May, it could be in the middle of May. Nobody really knows, but we're just going to have to watch and see exactly when that halving takes place, because eventually we will know. Now, what is taking place here is the exact same thing as that's happened before. I don't see the difference, and I really just do not see the reason to be scared. As you guys can see, after we sell off, we always come back down to retest this black trend line, and we accumulate off of this trend line. And if you would have been somebody that bought when Bitcoin was resting on this black support, it would have proven to be one of the best times in which you could have ever bought Bitcoin in times past. Now, what has happened recently, at the bottom of the bear cycle, we came back down and retested that black trend line. And then we immediately got a bounce from that. And really, guys, what we're seeing now is us coming back into contact with that. And really what we're seeing now is us coming back into contact with that same trending support. And so based off of what we're looking at today, I personally think that this is a very excellent time to be buying, because it's not often that we come back into contact with this black trend line. And I think that with Bitcoin being less than 8K right now, it's a steal. It's a steal, and I cannot stress that enough. It's not going to be long before Bitcoin is valued just too high for the average person to buy it. It's pretty much already at that point right now. And so you guys really aren't going to want to miss out on your opportunity to be scaling in. We are less than 2 months away from this next halving to take place. Based off of these two halvings, every time we have one, it immediately sends Bitcoin's price into price discovery. Are you really going to be the person that tries to bet against that trend? Or are you going to be somebody that tries to hold against the trend? Or are you going to be the person that holds the trend and makes the most money along the way? Because basically, guys, you wouldn't have been very profitable as a bear inside of Bitcoin's consolidation, but you would have been much more profitable had you just bought and hold. And so that's really the point of this video, is the fact that we are still following all of the same trends. We're still following all of the same guidelines. My trading plan is yet to change, and so there's really no reason to be scared. Now, this is probably one of the most important charts that we're going to talk about today, because I think that this gives it away as clear as it possibly can. It's really this one chart that I'm continuously following for taking profits and knowing what's happening inside of the market. And it's the same thing that I've updated you guys with consistently. Now, basically, the 1st of January is a time of reversals, and we see that inside of Bitcoin. It's almost the exact top and bottom of each cycle, give or take a couple months, but realistically it follows very closely, and we're going to see here. Now, almost the exact top of the cycle, we top out at January 1st. Even though we made a lower high before, this was still almost the exact top. And now, what I want to share with you guys is the fact that each cycle goes through 2 years increments. So we had, you can't see the full history back here, but we went through a 2-year bull cycle, we top out at the new year, and now this starts a 2-year bearish cycle. So 2 years from 2014 takes us to January 1st of 2016. And the reason I point this out is because this is really the most clear indication of what we have. We have the top of the bear trend, we have the top of the bull trend, we'll make that one red, and then we have the top, and then we go through a 2-year correction, and then we make our first higher high, and that first higher high takes us right at that new year. And so that is the start of our bullish trend, right? And then we go for a 2-year bull run. And then subsequently, we end right at the new year, and then we start a 2-year decline. And then 2 years from there takes us to the new year of 2020. And so we can see here, guys, that realistically, the same trend is still true. There is a little bit of difference. I mean, Bitcoin went sideways here in the last bear cycle for a lot longer, whereas Bitcoin in the current cycle dropped down to the capitulation and immediately impulsed back up. And then we made our first higher high, whereas we consolidated sideways, broke up, made a small higher high, and then kind of slowly grew on this trend. And so I think that this cycle is going to be more parabolic. I think it's going to be a little bit different. I don't see us consolidating sideways and down as long as we did. Even though the cycles are following each other based off time frames, I think that this one's going to be much more parabolic, and we won't see such a sideways trend forming. Now, I could be wrong. We very easily could see something like this. Hopefully we do, because then that just means I can buy more. But I'm watching for this because this is just the same pattern. I think that we just started a new 2-year bull run. And that's why I'm sharing with you guys this chart, is because I don't see the reason to be so scared. And I think that by looking at these long-term perspectives, you guys that maybe are fearful right now are going to start to see my perspective and start to feel a little bit more okay with the current situation that's unfolding. I have no idea what's going to happen with the rest of the global markets. To me, this is a correction. To me, this is just a shakeout. And I think that we're going to see a lot more bullish continuation to come. And so really, guys, I just think that we should all keep a level head right now. We all know that we're here for the long term. If you're trying to day trade all of this, then this is good for you if you're a day trader. All of this volatility is an excellent time to be shorting the market and then looking for leverage longs as well. And so really, you shouldn't be scared right now. The only reason you should be scared is if you don't have a plan, if you're over leveraged, or if you're doing some other minor mistake. It's really important that we keep these level heads because right now is such a good buying opportunity, guys. I mean, we're following the cycle almost exactly. There's really no different. We get the top of the cycle, 2 years later puts us at our first higher high, exact same thing that happened here, and now we're really just starting that next major impulse. And so I think that it's really important that we are using this as the opportunity that it is, and we aren't getting scared of an opportunity that presents itself. We want to be on the opposite side of that emotional state. The people that are getting scared right now most likely FOMO bought as the prices were going up, and now they're seeing losses because the market's correcting. And so you got to remember that you got to shift that perspective. You don't want to be buying when the market's going up. You want to be buying as the market's going down, because when the market goes down and then it reverses, had you bought that dip, you're immediately in profit, and then you're going to be in significant profit when it makes a higher high. So just keep that in mind, guys. Now, one of the few charts that we're going to talk about is going to be the Bitcoin dominance. This is clear giveaway once again. Now basically what the Bitcoin dominance is it shows the total market share that's being held inside of Bitcoin. So right now we're about 64% market dominance, meaning Bitcoin holds 64% of the total share of the cryptocurrency market. Now what we saw here was from the top of the cycle, Bitcoin at 20K, we basically uptrended. Now, for you guys that don't understand, when Bitcoin uptrends on this chart, it means altcoins are going down. So Bitcoin's gaining dominance and altcoins are losing dominance. So if you look at the Bitcoin altcoin ratios, altcoins are going down. Now, what recently just happened was we actually broke out of this trend. This is a bearish breakdown, and we're now kind of getting the bullish retest of that trend. And so for me, guys, I think that we're about to start collapsing very soon. I think that this bullish trend of Bitcoin inclining as far as the dominance goes has ended, and we're about to see a pretty sudden drop. And we're going to continue to see that over this next cycle. And so it's really important that we know what is taking place here, guys, because this is a very awesome opportunity to be scaling into positions. We can see that this was just a bearish retest. We have this already descending resistance. We have this bearish downtrend. We sold through, made a big parabolic run on the downside. We consolidated back up, and now this was just a bearish retest of the previous support. And we've now broken from that trend line, and we're going to start a brand new bearish retrace back down. And when that happens, so much money is going to be flooding into the altcoins. Altcoins are going to be outperforming Bitcoin, and you guys have a really, really good opportunity to make a lot of money. I mean, it's a clear giveaway that this market is not going to just stop and disappear forever. Look at this. Declining volume, inclining price, bearish volume profile. We just broke this downtrend. Why are you so scared? Ask yourself, why are you so scared? Because there's really no reason to be, guys. I really wanted to make this video so that, you know, I can clarify some of my thoughts. I'm sorry that it's a little bit late. You guys aren't going to get this update till a little bit later in my personal evening, and that's just because I actually had to re-record the entire thing due to some audio issues. And so I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did like this video, always remember to smash that like button and help me hit my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And help me hit my goal of 1,000 likes. I'd really like to see this video do good. Share this video to as many people as you can, because at the end of the day, if you know people that are investing that are probably really scared right now, by showing them all of the long-term analysis that I do, it's going to really make it easy to understand what's taking place. And really, guys, nothing has changed. In fact, this is a buying opportunity, and I can't stress that enough. So make sure that you guys are using it as that opportunity that it is. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about real quick before we wrap up this video is going to be the stock to flow model. Now, the stock to flow is a chart that I've actually shared with you guys previously. Let's see if I can find it here, because so this isn't really the chart that I'm looking for, but it is the exact same thing. So basically, this gray black line that we see, this cloud that kind of trends up, that goes all the way up to here, we see that this is the time, this is the price, and this is, you know, Bitcoin kind of consolidating on this trend. And this is kind of this moving average that is created through the stock to flow model. Now, what this shows is this shows Bitcoin's price being predicted to a 95% accuracy, meaning Bitcoin's price follows this graph to 95% accuracy. And I've updated you guys with this chart because I think that this is a really important one to watch out for, just because it really helps to minimize some of the long-term noise that happens on the shorter term time frames. Now, what we see here, guys, is this next stock to flow model actually predicts Bitcoin's price to hit $100,000 in this next peak. Now, the cool thing about that is the fact that Bitcoin peaks above this moving average definitely every cycle. It's happened every single cycle. This was really the only cycle in which it didn't. And so we could very easily see Bitcoin do the same thing. Who knows? Maybe in this next cycle we peak all the way up above and we hit 200, 300, 400K. And then we kind of crash back down. But either way, guys, this shows Bitcoin's price hitting $1 million by 2024. So the long-term trend of Bitcoin is still very much strong. This is the exact chart that I actually use to base a lot of my strategies around Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, if somebody could show me an indicator that maps Bitcoin's price to a 95% accuracy, I am going to follow that, because I don't have an indicator that can map Bitcoin's price to 95% accuracy. Wall Street doesn't have an indicator that can map Bitcoin's price to 95% accuracy. You guys don't have that either, so I'm going to stick to this model until it proves me wrong. I'm going to continue to stick to it. Now, basically, if you guys zoom in here, we're going to see that we're right at that point before we see a massive impulse coming. And this is what happens every halving. We can see that the same thing happened here, the halving, and then we skyrocketed. And so we could still trend below it like we did here, but I think that this next cycle is going to see us kind of go up pretty quickly with this next halving. And so this is the analysis I had for you. I think I've covered about everything I possibly can. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you want access to my Discord server, click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're gonna get access to my server. Once you guys have access, shoot me a message and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you guys want access to the course and signals, once again, just message me and I will shoot you with all of that information that I have. But with all that being said, guys, don't get shaken out. Don't be fearful of the market. It's a good buying opportunity. This is not financial advice. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.